Hey everyone, just working on Corky today. So I'm gonna create an app. So with basically a Google app, so we can people can connect to their Gmail and YouTube with it. Right now I have a private app. So I also have instructions on how to set up a private app as well. But yeah, but for now, just try to make it a little bit easier to get started with Corky. So just kind of going through the last few steps. I think the last one I have is this Google verification. So, whoops. Um, okay. I think I have to go to here. So, yeah, it's just a little bit of a kind of a slog to go through this, but I think we're just about done. So Google verification, and this is going to be, let's make a new tab. So cloud, console cloud, there we go. Okay, so APIs and services. OAuth consent screen. Publishing status or audience. There it is. I guess I hit publish app, I guess. Yep. Okay, I guess we'll do it. Alright, so go to verification center. It's my logo. I'm not really sure what needs to be done. Your app. Okay, so I guess I need to okay, so I guess I need my branding first. So it's gonna take a while. So alright, next step. So I guess we got that done 2 to 6 weeks, but possibly longer with the status. And so yep, so I submitted. Phase 1 done. Okay. So we're going to do the next few steps here. So on this side, on agent-doc, I added a few things. I added this pending area. And I don't know if so there's a pending component now, which kind of shows what steps we're on. And it'll update from the document, from the skill. And then we also have these different modes. So I renamed mode to patch. So it'll either be replace, append, or prepend. I set it to have defaults for the different components. So we have an exchange component, a pending component. I also have a status component, which right now is the same, but I think this is more like a high level status. So that's what it's meant to be. And this is more of a what's pending. So, but in this case, it happens to be the same, but I just added the pending. So I'm kind of testing it out, and hopefully status will kind of act appropriately, but I probably need to define it better in the skill as well. So, but yeah, basically the idea is we just had different components. I don't have anything like exciting like from a real-time sense yet, but I'll probably add something soon which we could use lazily for. But I asked about lazily, and it was just, pretty much everything can be handled with the skills for now. So we'll just leave it at that. All right, so back to here. I'm not really sure what else there is to do, but oh right. So I guess I could get into agent doc. Oh yeah, I made a logo as well. So agent doc has a logo now. It's basically just an agent hat with a markdown document, but maybe I'll have something more exciting later, but I guess this is a good enough logo for now. Alright, so agent doc. Oh, I have a directory. I'm not using the directory. Alright. So oh yeah, I also did a bunch of work on fixing the synchronization, but it looks like I have this issue again. So as we're swapping, panes in and out, I think it moves it to a different window. And let me make sure it didn't. Yeah, so it was also adding it to different tmux sessions too, but I seem to have fixed that. But now this thing reared its head again. So I do have sort of this thing planned where we have this IPC. Well, it's going to be over FFI. So I'm going to have this shared library that will sort of be like this cross plugin shared library. So all the editors would have like this thin layer, which is FFI to this plugin shared library, but that's not going to really fix this over here. This is more of an agent doc binary issue. So I'm going to try to stamp this out. So this is tmux session. There's too many. Please diagnose. Use the logs, add missing logs, use logs to debug. Can you recognize what caused the proliferation of tmux windows? If not, add missing logs, add tests to simulate the root cause of the issue of the proliferation of tmux windows, add tests for the self-healing agent doc, and I think it's resync. Why did it not work? Go. I didn't need to say go, but this might take a little bit of time, but this is kind of something I've been struggling with a little bit, and it's been finding issues, but I don't know if it's necessarily like it's hard to say if it's helpful or not, or if it's just kind of spinning its wheels finding the wrong issue. But it is fixing things and things are changing, but it seems like this proliferation seems to happen. It could also be happening in multiple places due to race conditions or other problems. So I think this kind of goes to show that tmux is great, but it's kind of lacking for this particular task right now, there's definitely race conditions. Like we have to like type in text using tmux and hit enter and make sure everything syncs up. So it would be great to have this be a tighter experience, but that's going to take probably some serious software to do, especially if we want it to work across different environments. So I'm starting to also look into supporting other people using this, because right now it's just primarily been me, and I guess maybe other people have been using it. I don't know if it's been working or not for them, but I have it set up for me. So it's been working great for me, but not sure if it works great for other people. I have a JetBrains plugin and a VS Code plugin. I haven't really tested the VS Code plugin. And of course, Cursor would be good to set up. It would be good to have Cursor to work with the Cursor agent harness as well. And I've been looking into doing that, but haven't quite gotten there yet. So, yeah, just kind of trying to nail down this tmux thing, and I'm hoping that it's not this long lingering issue, but this proliferation is relatively harmless. It's a little annoying, and we do have a resync as well, but so this should fix it, but it kind of gets into these states to where it doesn't fix it. So and I kind of find that what causes it is when I jump to another tmux session, and then I jump back, and then I start, I don't ever come back here. I never focus on this tmux session. So I think what might be happening is this has the focus, then I hit the editor, and then I run the hotkey. And, maybe it could be as simple as simulating the focus when I use the hotkey. So maybe a speculation. The issue is caused by focusing on another tmux session, then focusing on the editor. However, but the claiming tmux session is bypassed, but focus on the claiming tmux session is bypassed. So notice that the CRDT worked pretty good there. It was interesting that I've been typing here and it put underneath. That was kind of cool. But the focus claiming tmux section has been bypassed. So I wonder if we are using the last selected tmux session for anything. When we call agent-doc run, the claiming tmux session is effectively, well, maybe I should, oh shoot. Should effectively override any preference for the last selected tmux session. Since the claiming tmux session since focusing on the cleaning tmux session may not happen, may be bypassed. All right, so okay, so it cleaned it up. When IDE triggers a route for multiple documents simultaneously, each route tries split window, but the windows get progressively smaller. So here's another issue, is that tmux, you cannot split windows to be infinitely small. So at some point it's going to disallow further splits. So I kind of want to get away from the business of splitting. And, you know, because what happens is it's all put into the stash over here. So what would be better is to not have a stash. Can we avoid using a stash window? Can we just have the Claude session resume when we change, when we swap in another, swap in a session? No, we don't want to do that because it may be actively running. So if a Claude session is running, you know, we can swap panes in and out, and we want to kind of keep it running. So if we were to close it, it would stop running that task. So I don't think we can avoid that. So all right. So if a stash, maybe we should say if a stash, I mean, maybe we could have a separate tmux session that's hidden. That's another alternative. Or, I mean, in some ways it is nice to have it here, but this kind of assumes that agent-doc owns this entire tmux session, which I think is fair. I guess it might be possible for people might want to also add their excuse me, their own windows here. I mean, I don't excuse me, I don't do this, but other people may. Because in my workflow, I have all these different desktops, so I just go to a different desktop to run things from the command line, and just leave this alone. So, but maybe other people might not want to, you know, maybe they want to switch out, but I think it gets really confusing to switch if I were to switch between windows. So let's just have it add more stash windows. So if a stash window is full, why not create another stash window? And I'll leave it visible, but maybe at some point we might just want to like take it out of here. It only checks wrong session and wrong process. It does not check wrong window. Panes scattered across multiple windows when they should be consolidated. Okay. So, I guess I should ask, can we effect robustly track where the binding session agent session is stashed. All right, so I think you can just by using tmux. Tmux has like a process tree or tmux pane tree or whatever. So I think we label it, we name it. So that's how we can identify it. All right, so 2 fixes needed. The route, when the split fails, stash the pane instead of creating a new window. Okay, that makes sense. And add wrong window detection and resync. Consolidate panes in separate windows. Or an available stash window. Yes. All right. So phase 1 is done here. So phase 2 plan is written. Okay. Verification submitted. Phase 2 is not blocked. Add default constants. So we'll have the default Gmail client ID. So this is where you can either have like your own self-hosted Google app, Google Cloud app, or you can just use the default Corky app, and we're gonna just have the default ID and all, in Corky itself, but I don't know about putting the client secret in there. It seems a little iffy to me. Since it's, so hard coding them in source. So is there a security? Seems like there's a security issue with encoding the client's secrets in the binary. And I'm going to say also that should have a different name because we are using other services or other scopes such as YouTube. How about maybe we could say Corky or GCP. All right, modify Gmail config resolution when Gmail exists, but client ID, client secret are empty or missing. Fallback to the built-in defaults. Resolution order. User config or built-in defaults. I'm going to assume. I assume you will also check, or you will also check. I guess what was asked. So check client ID. So these commands are so I can run pass instead of saving the saving this data as clear text in the config file. All right, so Corky init, when update Corky init when provider Gmail API is used, don't require manual credential entry. Generate Corky toml with provider equals Gmail API but no Gmail section. Triggers default fallback. Okay, so I think this is using the public app. This is a focus code change. Yes. Go. All right. So back here to agent doc. So I put my speculation in here. So they cleaned it up. So implement Okay, so I think it's still going. So this might take a while. This is a little complicated. Apparently this one's more focused, so we'll see how long this takes. But yeah, so I guess, so you notice that, okay, so as I, change what I focus on, this green bar moves, which is what is the tmux pane focus. So that's like the basics, and then from there I can run one of these hotkeys, these commands. So I don't really use Junie. I used it a little bit when I was running low on Claude, but I upgraded my Claude plan, so I don't have this problem anymore. Claim for tmux pane. Yeah, so I use this sometimes when it's like a new document, then I'll have it claimed by one side or the other. And I also have sync the layout. So this is like if things get messed up, I'll run sync the layout. But it should I haven't been doing that because I'm trying to make it self-corrected, self-heal if the layout gets messed up, or better yet, just not mess up the layout in the first place. But still, it's a work in progress. Yeah, so just waiting. Maybe we'll edit this out. Okay, look at that. So I did command variants. Good catch. So I guess it wouldn't have caught that, and it would have introduced a bug had I not specified that. So this is kind of like something else I've been thinking about, is like having specs and our like Claude MD file or whatever, and skills, and how much is over specification, and versus not, like how loose should we keep things versus specifying things. And I guess as a programmer, I have some skill and some ability to at least track what is happening as features develop. And now, of course, with agent loops, things move faster. Oops. So, I gotta get a call. So I'll hold that thought, and we'll reconvene soon. Okay, so yeah, I think that we want to be careful not to over-specify and under-specify. We got to figure out the right balance to things, and I think a lot of it depends on the person who's operating the agents as well, or people who are operating the agents. You kind of have to figure out how to make the glove fit. Yeah. So phase 2 is implemented. All right. But did we have... All right, I'm not really sure if... Let me look up here. Yeah, so it seems like phase 2 is not fully implemented. So, all right, so we added the defaults, GCP, client ID, client secret. We rewrote resolve credentials. Let's look for Gmail and the command environment variable and built-in default constant extracted. Well, I guess we should also... Well, I guess it'll check for the cleartext one, but the command is better, of course, than cleartext. Alright, so we have this. I don't see Gmail in there. Corky tumble example. All right. README. All right. I guess. Let's see what we got here. It's different. All right, we got the Gmail API sync. Oh, I see. Here it is. Okay, so. All right, so continue. And let's look at the agent doc. Both fixes are implemented. So we do the route stash fallback. So this is where we have multiple stash windows. Resync the wrong window detection. All right, 6 new tests. Your speculation about the focus, you're right, that claiming the tmux session should override any last selected preference. The tmux session formatter front matter field is used by route to determine the agent doc route to determine the target session. It doesn't rely on the currently focused tmux session. Okay. There you go. That makes sense. But the window proliferation was caused by concurrent routes plus pane too small failures, not this session focus. Okay. So my speculation wasn't right. Multiple stash windows. The stash pane implementation in tmux-router handles this. If the stash window can't fit another pane, it creates stash 2, etc. Tracking stash sessions. The sessions registry already tracks which pane belongs to which file. When a stash pane needs to be activated, route finds it in the registry, splits it into a visible window, and updates the registration. All right. Release. So agent doc version, so we're on 22. Cool, phase 2 is completely done now. And all right, ready to commit. Commit. And then implement phase 3. So we have Corky Doctor, which helps with sort of like OAuth issues that you might have, issues connecting to like Gmail or whatever. So that's the idea. Corky Doctor, and other services too. Like if you wanted to do so we basically call Corky Doctor Gmail or Corky Doctor LinkedIn, and it'll like tell you what's wrong, basically. Cool. Well, I think it's just going to run for a while. Once we get the release, I'll probably call it a night. All right, we got the release. Let's make sure it's over here. And then we got crates, agent doc, and there we go. Cool, we got our logo. All right. I think we have our new documentation. I need to audit the docs. I didn't audit the docs. Shoot. So I usually do this, and I don't have a skill that always audits the docs, but I probably should. And this should probably actually be in agent docs as well. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Audit-docs can be independent of agent doc, so I should probably just have it as a skill in my environment. And then, yeah, I've been a little conservative about adding all these skills that people really seem to like, so I should, but I'm gonna add stuff. I just haven't, I've just kind of just been manually doing things a little bit, but yeah, as I get more experienced with agentic programming, agentic loops, I'm going to add more skills. But for now, I'm doing most of my special stuff with agent doc and going from there and just learning as I go. But let's do that. So add audit. Okay, so we have instruction files. That's kind of where audit-docs comes in. So what skill defines audit-docs? Is it from instruction files? I don't think instruction files has a skill. But yeah, because we have agent doc, but I don't have Corky as a skill, so I guess I might have it here. No, I don't. I also have to worry about cleanup too. I'm not really doing anything about cleanup yet. So, alright. I guess I'll just ask. Alright, so we did Corky Doctor. Okay. Tests for Corky Doctor. Implement Corky Doctor Gmail. Maybe we'll have a few other of these, maybe LinkedIn, YouTube. Let's do that for now. looks like we missed this over here. So agent doc missed. So this, I was in the middle of editing this prompt when agent doc patched the exchange. Do you have logs as to why the prompt was missed? So one of the reasons why I added pending was to kind of hopefully track why we have, track the prompts, because I noticed that we're starting to miss a couple, especially as we were adding prompts while processing. So, whenever agent doc run is called, should be populated. So it's a skill, it's a Rust subcommand. It's not a skill, it's a subcommand that delegates instruction files, create. Okay, so the CRDT preserves the edit, but the diff computation happened before you finish typing. Okay, so the response is written and CRDT preserved in progress edit, but that's what happened. But the response only addressed the initial audit-docs prompt, not the block quoted question. Right, depending would have captured the full prompt as a checkbox surviving across cycles. The current exchange only flow. Wait, but we have pending here, so I don't understand. So we already have in the document, in this document, why did you say this? Why did you say this? All right. So the doctor tests and provider specific checks. All right. So we got our new doctor stuff for LinkedIn and YouTube. And let's do phase 3. So commit. Phase 4. So this is sort of like creating your own Google. This is documentation on creating your own Google app. So you can just run this. It's a self-serve and not use the public Corky thing. Or if you want to use your own app and just add the credentials or the scopes, you can too. All right. So we already have that. Wait, we lost it. How do we lose it? Oh my god, okay. So I put the inside of the full tag inside of backticks. but the document got corrupted. Please add a test for this scenario to ensure this does not happen again. So I'm kind of curious to see if it recovers. It should recover. Should be robust enough, but you never know. Yeah, so basically I put this tag into backticks, but it corrupted the document. So people don't normally do that, but I'm doing it because I'm dog fooding. So I guess that is kind of an advantage of dog fooding your product, is that you tend to get into these meta cases, which makes the software more robust. You know, if you'll run into these issues more often, so if you can fix them, then your software becomes more robust. Alright, so all 4 phases complete here. I guess let's just release. And I'm going to try to edit these videos too, to make them a little bit better and split them apart as well. Oh, interesting. It happened in the Sanitize, not the Parser. I wonder if we should use like the AST for markdown. Is there a markdown AST parser so we can avoid these sort of issues? Alright. Inline code or single lines of common mark, so the parser correctly did not treat it as inline code. The tag was parsed as real component opener eating the pending comment. The parser is correct. Back to open, but the tag content continued to the next line. Okay. Alright, so we restored it. Alright, I'm not really understanding this. Line 130 had... I didn't escape it, but maybe agentic did. Uh-oh, I lost the... we lost the change because the okay, so... so... Again, when my prompt is located before the patch response, my prompt is lost when both the prompt then the patch response is in the diff, in the run diff. Can we diff from the CRDT patch diff against to get the user prompt, say the human prompt? I don't know if this is going to be fragile, but this would be one way of doing it. I guess another way of doing it is we use get to help out, but I'm hoping that the CRDT diff, we might be able to do it this way. I'm hoping. And we have to catch this too. So also want to get my missed prompt. Alright, so the problem is when you type the prompt above the last response, the next cycle's diff contains both your prompt and the previous response, which was just committed. The skill sees them as one blob. Yep. It only processes the response portion. Your prompt gets swallowed. I see, because it's all done in the skill. So diffing against the CRDT patch, yes, this could work. The idea is CRDT patch contains exactly what the agent wrote, the response. The full diff contains the user edits, the agent plus the agent response. Subtracting the CRDT patch from the full diff isolates the user edits. Simpler approach. The snapshot already captures the state before the agent wrote. The diff between the snapshot and the current file shows both the user edits and the agent response. Okay, but the commit in step 0b commits the agent response. So after commit, the diff only contains user edits. Okay, user edits. So the real issue is the snapshot is updated when agent-doc write runs, which includes the response. So next cycle's diff equals current minus snapshot. Only user changes since last write. This should work correctly. If your prompt is being lost, it means either the snapshot was updated after your prompt is written. Race condition snapshot. Okay. Diff computation is stripping your prompt somehow. The skill is seeing the prompt but not responding to it. Multi-prompt is loss issue. Most likely number 3. The skill is seeing the prompt but not. Yeah, I think that's what's happening. I see your prompt in the diff but fail to address it because I'm focused on the agent response portion. This is a skill side attention problem, not a CRDT issue. Let's be more disciplined and now address every line in the diff, not just. Okay, so alright, so we have a AST. Alright. Okay. I'm not sure which one to use. They all look interesting. $50 kilobytes is not bad. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're using. Yeah, we gotta use the AST. I don't know why I wasn't using it from the beginning. Pull down cmark. Okay. Oh, it's streaming. Okay, perfect. Yes. Cool. Well, I'm gonna end it here because I think I'm getting a little sleepy. But yeah, hopefully this will be more robust soon. So, peace out, everybody.